Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Vivek Ramaswamy, and I want to talk about the power to delight. And let me get right to the point of this video. I think Vivek Ramaswamy should declare to everyone in America that if he was president right now, and he'll have the power to do this as soon as he's elected on November 2nd, 2024, which is 13 months. Oh my gosh, we are 1 year away from the election. 1 year. We are exactly 1 year away from the election. No longer 13 months. 1 year away from the election. That Vivek Ramaswamy should announce publicly on any podcast or YouTube channel or mainstream news source that if he was president right now, Matthew Perry would lie in state. All right, and why that's important. All right, so first of all, Matthew Perry, tragic loss to America, 54 years old, died of sorrow. Like, tell me if I'm wrong. In my humble opinion, you are looking at a death of despair with Matthew Perry. Deaths of despair are happening at astronomical. I think it happens to women sometimes. It's extremely rare, right? A death of despair is when a man dies alone because his sorrow is so great that he cannot persist, right? And it almost always, Matthew Perry very openly discussed that he struggled for decades with substances, right? With substance abuse. Right? He was very open about it. Wrote it in his memoir. Tried to help people, and and the reality is, in my humble opinion, I think Matthew Perry's death is very clearly a death of despair, and it looks exactly like what deaths of despair look like for men in America right now. Just a man just drowning in sorrow, right? Which is exactly what happened with him. And then they die alone, right? That's what a death of despair looks like, right? In what was clearly preventable if there was even a single person that cared about them that was close to them, right? And one of the reasons why this doesn't happen to women right now in America at nearly the same rate, this is like 10 times the amount of men who die like this. And the reason why is it's very rare for women to not have a single person who cares for them and is close, right? And that I think that is the real reason Matthew Perry died, is he didn't have a single person who cared about him who was close. I think there were people who cared about him, but they weren't close, right? They were living other lives, and it's not their fault. Like, every other member of the Friends community, they didn't have time to be sitting next to him, every day of the week. That's not a reasonable expectation, right? And it is deeply sad. I definitely understand, but Matthew Perry was well beloved because of Friends. Now, why on earth should a Friends cast member lie in state? Because of what he did for America. Friends is watched internationally. It is like it sells for billions of dollars. It resells every 3 or 4 years for billions of dollars to a new streamer. And entire streaming services are stood up, right, by the power of one show like this. It's so powerful, right? And also, not a joke, legit, Friends, I think, has kept us out of wars with many nations, right? Like, tin pot dictators, like Vladimir Putin, who's like, oh, let's go to war with America. And everybody's like, I like Chandler Bing. How about no? Right? Like, and, I think a lot of people just don't have any idea how much value is in an American entertainment and how much incredible, absolutely incredible power is in the American celebrity. So Vivek Ramaswamy could say, hey, President Joseph Biden won't do this because he's a hateful man and he doesn't really care about America, and he doesn't care about what we care about. We Americans, we care about Matthew Perry. We care about Friends. We care about the incredible cultural impact that friends has had all over the world and the peace it's given us, right? Right, and because of that, if I were president right now, Matthew Perry would lie in state. Now, if you don't know, that's okay. If you don't know what lying in state is, it's generally only used for presidents, right? And it's when they display your coffin so that literally the public can walk by and be in the presence of your body, right? And there's a lot of value in this. The first one is to not. This is a Scott Garibay note in here. It's not have a whole lot to do with politics, but this is my channel. I'm going to say it. Don't get cremated. Cremation is for trash. It's not for humans, right? Like, we burn trash. We don't burn humans. I do not know where this idea came that we should be burning human beings. That is not good, right? So you lie in state, and people are like, oh, there's your body, and literally millions of people pass by your body and honor you, right? Not, oh, hey, somebody died, let's throw them in a crisper, here's their ashes, who cares, right? So one, you lie in state because you're not being cremated and people actually give a rat's about you, right? So that's one reason for lying in state. The next one is people can come along and see your body, right? Or just be in the presence of it. And that's important, right? Because it's super important, right? And so basically, Vivek Ramaswamy would be saying, hey, if I'm president, I will choose American celebrities, and get this, listen closely, and I will choose American citizens who are not celebrities. And I think Vivek Ramaswamy would be like, every year I will choose three American celebrities, and I'll choose one American citizen to lie in state once per season, right? And yes, it'll get weird because you're like, well, what about somebody who dies in a zone where it's not, where we're not ready for their death? Yeah, that would be a big problem because you don't want to, you might end up ended up putting like Dolly Parton lying in state, and David Bowie didn't, or it would get strange. No, David Bowie isn't American, but Dolly Parton is. That's a bad example, but you could make up your own example in your head. All right, you got some homework. There you go. Right. So here, and that's the issue. Is I really think this is important. Like, if Vivek can just say, "Hey, people, I will use the power of the presidency to delight you," and I think that's the you and I, we need to think for a minute, right? Has President Joseph Biden done one thing to delight Americans? Not one, right? He has all this power. He never does anything for us. You know what he does? Hey, everybody, I'll cancel your school debt. Oh, sorry, I couldn't. Bye. Just empty lies, right? That's all. Oh, hey, I didn't do what I needed to, and now we're in 2 wars. Yep. You're welcome, America. It's just. And I think Vivek Ramaswamy could be like, listen, not only will I do the actual stuff I'm supposed to do and wake up before 10 a.m., right? But I'll actually do things to delight you. I'll use the power of the presidency to do things I can. And this is well within the president's power. And also, you're like, Scott, wouldn't this cost money? Yes! By the way, I'm not a, deficit zero guy, right? We can literally print money. We've been doing it for a while, and it works fine, in my humble opinion. And I would spend money for this, right? And I think it would be really, really powerful to have American celebrities and an American citizen. 3 celebrities a year, 1 citizen, and those numbers can be flipped, right? Because the whole thing's in the power of the president, right? He has the power to delight, and our current basically President Joseph Biden, he only uses his power to horrify, right? And it's terrible. And so Vivek Ramaswamy can just say, hey, I know what the power of the presidency is, and I can use it to delight you. Matthew Perry would lie in state if I was president right now. And you know what, President Joseph Biden, you can kick rocks because you're a horrible monster, because you don't recognize the importance of this man and the value of this man. Every single word of that is my opinion of what Vivek Ramaswamy should do. What's your humble opinion of what Vivek Ramaswamy should do? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.